Well, I guess I'll start at the beginning. I've been a fur for about 5 years now, and I will admit, I've been very secretive about it. Ever since I started in the 8th grade with being a fur, I wanted to be open about it, but I just didn't get the opportunity. People shut me down just for being a fur. I got death threats. People try to do things that are unspeakable nowadays because they're just wrong. Other things that I did as a fur during my secretive time was sneaking off and taking extra time after school just to hang out with other furs in Seattle. Then 2014 showed up and I decided enough was enough. I needed to talk with my parents and reveal that I was a fur. I wasn't ready to reveal in the school life that I was a fur, but I decided to talk with my family and let them know what I was. And so I became open about it, and I revealed it to them, and I revealed it to my friends. Obviously my friends were very supportive, and a little bit surprised, or at least some of them were. My family barely knew what furs were, only what they knew from rumors. And so I had to take that into account. I had to explain what we were from what I understood then, and explain to them over and over again different things from what I've learned being in the community. And so everything was starting to go okay throughout 2014, and then a certain Saturday,
19 people were sent to hospitals after what is described as an intentional gas incident at the Midwest Fur Fest happened.
Hotel guests were awakened to a strong odor of a chlorine-like smell, they say between the 9th and 10th floors of the hotel.
People started smelling stuff, getting sick. Then about 10 minutes later, the alarms went off, and here we are.
Go! One more, go! Get over here, come on!
We got it.
All right.
We gotta go.
Oh, go on, go, go, go. Get on! Get in here!
Hurry the fuck up! Come on!
Keep moving, keep moving!
it was then that I decided that I can no longer let my voice go unheard.
Who am I? Who are we? We are furries.
I tried carrying the weight of the world, but I only have 2 hands. Hope I get the chance to travel the world, but I don't have any plans. Wish that I could stay forever this young. Not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game made for everyone, and love is the prize.
So then, what are furries? Well, by definition, furries are human beings that take the interest in anthropomorphism of animals and mythical beasts. So, what does this mean for lots of different people? Well, basically, there's just a lot of furs in the world. And not just in the United States, but they can be found in the United Kingdom, out in Japan, and other places of the like. However, due to their existence, some people believe that they are the most revolting thing in the world. Why this is? Well, that's what we're going to be exploring. But these people believe in the misconceptions based on half-truths, and they cause all kinds of problems for the furry community. The man who planned the MFF bombing, as a matter of fact, had 2 other attacks planned, one of them being a gunned massacre that he attempted at the Little Bit Con Fur Convention in Nevada. However, he also had another plan, which was a bombing run of Anthrocon, the world's largest furry convention, and set here in Pennsylvania, in the United States. The man was arrested by the FBI, and he's been serving jail time. However, he is far from the only one that has decided to take it upon himself to rid the world of furs. Other people also find that within the furry community, we are resented against. In fact, the average fur is attacked by a daily onslaught of hate commentary on social media, including YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and even MySpace during its run, as well as other places as Reddit, Tumblr, and DeviantArt. So then, before we continue, I need to get a little bit more comfortable.
That's more like it. So, why a documentary? Well, a documentary is simply a documentation of events, so I'll be taking you deep into the hidden world of furries to learn about our culture and ways of life. See, most furs will make videos, hang out together, construct artwork, and of course... going bowling?
DJ Koda in the mix.
Welcome, the jungle. Welcome, the jungle.
Here at Kenmore Lanes in North Washington, furries gather every other month to send a few down the lanes. And why do they do this, you ask? Mainly, it's just because it's fun. You know what isn't fun? Misconceptions. Now then, here's the one that I hear the most. See, some people believe that furries are just homosexual males that have intercourse with animals. Now then, I'm going to be clear here. That out of the 10,000 furries tracked around the United States, the highest concentrations of which are in New York, Seattle, and Los Angeles, you know how many of them have ever had sex with an animal in real life? Exactly 0. As for the rest of this misconception, 23% of the community is homosexual. However, if you were to look into the community, you are 14 times likely to run into any one of the LGBTQ community demographic in the furry community when compared to the United States alone. And yeah, there are all dudes in the community, but there are a lot of girls too. Statistically, 43% of the community is female, most of which are dancers. So, to note, that's 3 misconceptions that were rolled into one, disproven right off the bat in a bowling alley. Now then, let's talk about this event. It's called When Furballs Strike, and it was started up by Kijani Lion back in the June of 2007. He loved his fellow furs and bowling, so he decided to combine them together. He then founded the website Fur Life to help furs in the Northwest meet together as much as possible. I got lucky with my first When Furballs Strike, as they broke a world record for the world's largest fur meet, which is defined as a mini convention, setting the record at 271 furries, all of which were super supportive on letting me use my camera, as I myself was in a fursuit and walking about with a camera. What is a fursuit? Well, it's basically a big fluffy costume made of synthetic fur, which this gains into another misconception that we actually kill animals to make fursuits, which is completely untrue, and we use the synthetic fur in order to actually not kill animals and such. And that will be a point that I'll bring up later with other bizarre things. But anyways, this is used in the community as a huge part of our culture, and it is how we are recognized the most, as a matter of fact. And a lot of furs were really photogenic, but simultaneously there were non-furs, which is what furries refer to as a normal person, at the bowling alley. And a lot saw our group walk in, shut down their games early, and then just left. Other non-furs would ask us questions, and were genuinely curious about our existence. A few wanted to grab some of the selfies with the furs as well, but some of the furs denied this interaction, telling them that if they posted such pictures on their social media, then they'd be exposed to our rigorous onslaught. This made me wonder why the hate exists and why furries try to stay away from the media. Well, as it turns out, it goes back to our misconceptions and how mass media perceives furries. The media has done a number on spreading the misconceptions of furries. In fact, it created a few of them. The popular show CSI had an episode called Fur and Loathing, and it portrayed furries as a sexual kink. Some news coverage in the 90s showcased furs under oddities of life. The popular comedian Tosh used furries in his show as slutty fan service. Furs have a bad rap in the media, and so it comes as no surprise that when a furry has their life taken away, they leave the story alone. It wasn't until the Midwest Fur Fest bombing that the news changed their view around and started to look at furries in a new light, headed off by BuzzFeed and even CNN. However, television still refuses to showcase furries because of the backlash the CSI got when their furry episode was aired. This leaves furries left out and hidden away from the general masses. However, other major media, such as movies and video games, have monopolized on furry representation for years, dating back to some of Walt Disney's classic characters. In fact, the year 2016 has been proclaimed as the year of the furry in the film industry, with the release of such films as Zootopia and Kung Fu Panda 3. There are also other films on this list based on video games such as Ratchet & Clank, Sly Cooper, and the rumored Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming out for the 25th anniversary of Sonic here in the year of 2016. In gaming as well, we see a lot of anthropomorphic characters showing up in the early 90s and still going strong to this day. Children are exposed to these in their youth and later look back into it as young adults. Some take this further than others and they become furries, or at least that's the theory. The other way a person becomes a fur is by being exposed to furry culture. This can take hold in 2 ways. The first is being exposed to the furry culture as a kid, and say from a parent or uncle, and they decide to be part of the community. And for the record, if you thought that some fursuits were cute, then you'll find a child fur to be adorable. The second way the exposure works is on teens and young adults, in which can be argued as a high development period in schooling. These students are shown furry content by a furry, or search up furry content on a whim. Either way, they need to be exposed to our artwork in some way, preferably with no adult content, mind you, to set up the mind. See, for whatever psychological reason, when it comes to art, even if you see it just once, you will try to find more of that art style or art theme, dependence of time varying. However, for whatever reason, when a person searches up anthropomorphic art, they are more likely to search it up again and again, and in artists, it eventually develops into trying to draw that type of artwork, and lo and behold, the next thing the artist knows, they can identify as a furry. Even those who search up the art who are not artists develop an obsession with anthropomorphism, and again, a new fur is born. Whatever the reason for becoming a fur, we generally don't care. We only care that you follow the path of a furry and stick with it for as long as you can, not as a fad, but as a culture. So go figure that was part of the furry culture is the bad media rap, so it's no surprise that some furries took matters into their own hands.
Nobody can touch. Looking for some trouble tonight. Take my hand, I'll show you the wild side. Like it's the last night of our lives. We'll keep dancing till we die. I hear your heartbeat to the beat of the drums. Oh, what a shame that you came here with someone. So while you're here in my arms, let's make the most of the night like we're gonna die young. Heartbeat to the beat of the drums. Oh, what a shame that you came here with someone. So while you're here in my arms, let's make the most of the night like we're gonna die young. Like we're gonna die young.
YouTube, Vine, and now even Facebook have tons of furry-created content from amateur filmmakers to aspiring animators. Big faces of all of these are Cosmic Wuffy, Al the Wolf, and Majira Strawberry, each one creating vastly different content. Cosmic loves Vine, and he creates short, single-joke skits with his roommate that fit in about 6 seconds. Al does similar work to Cosmic, however he makes longer skits for YouTube, as well as posts convention showcases for all the major furcons. Majira, I guess you can say he's the strange one of the bunch. See, he prefers to make videos that talk about what it's like to live in the furry community and goes over a lot of recent content for furries. In fact, about 3 days after the release of Zootopia, he released this video, which I think is a great resource for understanding the community.
Hey guys, it's Majira. So about 2 years ago, my friend Blue the Dragon made a video about what makes someone a part of the furry fandom. So I wanted to kind of do that, but have my own little personal perspective on it. I also wanted to talk about this because I've been seeing a lot of arguments on Twitter on whether or not a person who is a fan of Zootopia, if they're a furry or not, and if people making Zootopia OCs classifies as a furry. So what does being a furry mean? So what the furry fandom is a group of people who are fans of anthropomorphic animals, and that's it. It's just people who are fans of anthropomorphic animals. But in all honesty, it's a little more complicated than that. For example, someone can like anthropomorphic animals, but not be a furry. Being a furry is a choice. At least I think it is. Because you are choosing to associate yourself with this fandom and this group of people. What I mean by that is, you can go see The Lion King, or you can go to see Zootopia, and you can like the characters, and you can make your own characters based on the movie, but that doesn't mean you're a furry. It's like how someone can like the band One Direction, but not be a Directioner. Or if you like one song by Justin Bieber, that doesn't make you a believer. You can choose to be a part of those fandoms, however, you don't have to be just because you like their music. It's the same with furries. People who don't call themselves furries can still think furries are cute. I mean, how can you not?
See, this guy knows what he's talking about and shows the fair opinion of the community. So then, as you can see, furry-related media just shows off the amount of fun we like to have, but doesn't mean that you aren't trying for change. Owl the Wolf also co-runs Furries in the Woods, a furry podcast where furries discuss and analyze current news in the furry community, like how Peter tried to shut down Anthicon. Wait, what?
Yes, you heard me right. PETA tried to shut down the largest furry convention due to a misconception that furries use real furs in our fursuits, which is ridiculous because all fursuits by furry law must be made of synthetic fur. What is furry law? Well, it's a set of rules created by the Furry Conventions Board, which consists of the head organizers of all the furry conventions in the United States, Canada, UK, and Japan. If you're caught breaking these laws, basically you're put on what we call the burn list. By being on this list, you're hereby banned from all conventions and can even be put under arrest by convention security. Depending on how severely you break a furry law, depends on how long you're on the list, and if your crime is severe enough, then you can get labeled as a burned fur. In which case your banishment is indefinite, and you can even serve jailing and imprisonment if your crime crosses over with the respective country's laws. So, for Peter to spray paint up their female employees as animals, and send them out half naked to hold up signs in front of the Anthrocon Convention Center, putting down furry culture while simultaneously insulting us, all because of one little misunderstanding, just shows you what the government thinks of us. So what did the furries do? Simple. They stopped donating to PETA's animal prevention program, and in doing this, nearly made PETA go bankrupt. PETA apologized to the community directly after having a discussion with the Furry Convention Board about why the furries did that to them, in which case all was forgiven, donations went back in, and then PETA changed their site page on the whole ordeal as a cover-up, making it appear less serious than it turned out to be. Luckily, we still have the photo evidence, so nice try, PETA. Okay, so now that I got that one out there, I guess I should talk about what furries like to do in their free time. Well, I have discussed a little bit about our artwork, which is very nice, and of course the main thing that furries love to do is go dancing. Now of course I could also just tell you more about how we do all this dancing, except I think this time around I'll just show you what I'm talking about. Oh, and just for a little bit of fun, I'm going to throw a little bit of challenge on myself. I'm only allowed to use a clip that I've used before somewhere within this documentary. So, I'm going to go and find that, and I'm going to keep it up a total surprise both to myself and to all of you for what clip that is. Aha! There we go. Okay then, so, have some fun with these guys that we know as the Fraternity.
Get it, babies.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it, do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it straight from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero with his theme music, no one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power.
Shave it.
Woohoo! Yay, that's so dang cool. Well then, now that you saw that, I guess you guys are all wondering, well, what else do furries do in their free time? Well, in order to answer that, we're gonna need to change scenes again to the last place you expect. Yeah, let's get weird. So yeah, welcome to Second Life, where we are able to create a better world for ourselves in the digital realm. Or basically, that's the idea. Second Life was created a few years ago, or maybe not even a few years ago, probably like a decade ago, in order to just give people a different way to live. I mean, basically, the game exists in order to create your ideal life. This idea speaks out well to furries, and we have abused it like nobody's business in order to give us full-on persona avatars and other stuff like that. So, of course, what do we do here in Second Life? Well, we do a multitude of things, and it'd be very hard to explain, seeing how there are thousands of us around the globe all just trying to live life as one normally would. So instead of telling you what you do in Second Life, I might as well just show you.
When I walk on by, girls be looking like they be fly. I pimp to the beat, walking down the street in my new the freak, yeah. This is how I roll, animal print pants out control. It's Red Bull with the big ass bra, and like Bruce Lee, I got the clout. When I walk in the spot, this is what I see. Everybody stop, standing, staring, and show it, show it, show it. I'm sexy and I know it. Sexy and I know it. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body.
You really are a fat.
Sexy and I like I'm sexy Wiggle, 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 yeah. Wiggle, 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 yeah. Wiggle, 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 yeah. I'm sexy and I know it. Hey, yeah.
And do the Harlem Shake.
So yeah, that was fun. Basically, we just like to throw one big party. Now, of course, there's other things you can do, like setting up relationships, which is a very common thing in this world. Since because everyone's around the world, you can just meet anybody, really. And it's really effective, helps out and all that other stuff. And mainly, we just try to have as much fun as we possibly can. And I guess that's the main point I've just been trying to get across for a long while, is that we're just people that like to have fun. And that's really it. So I hope you guys all learned something from this. If you can learn anything from the most bizarre of the bizarre. But of course, we're not done yet. I got one last thing to show all of you guys before we all finish off. But in order to do so, and I swear this will be the last time I do so, But we're gonna have to change scenes one more time.
Having an alter ego in the form of a bird, a reptile, animal, it doesn't matter. But having the alter ego and affiliating with others who do the same, all pretending something that we wish we could be.
Community. That's pretty much like all it's about, you know?
Are you me? Huh?
Dang, I'm on camera now, so I can't think.
He's like, I'm judging you. I'm judging you for this.
But I mean, a lot of people will say it's about sex. It's about the artwork. It's about the porn or whatever. But no, for me, I mean, it's really about community. I think a lot of people agree with that. So.
A lot of it is togetherness, because I think the furry community has a lot of that kind of thing where everyone feels included, and that's pretty cool. Also creativity, you see a whole lot of creativity going on. People make their own suits or their own art, or they're commissioned people, and that sort of has its own little economy going on, which is pretty cool. And I don't know, feeling included in a group that is so, whatever the word it is I'm looking for, it just makes you feel good. Warm and fuzzy, you could also say.
So, funny enough, my camera actually died after I shot that last clip. So, I had to, well, I just have to improvise. And for reference, she made that papyrus. She made that thing, which is awesome. Anyways, I guess if there's anything that I want you to take from this is that furries are like you, but unlike you, we're outcasted to ourselves. So, just think of furries as people that need something else. We need a world to be a part of. Since because we're trapped in our own hidden world, but we want to be part of the outside world as well. So, of course, if you see a furry, don't think of them as weird or as an outcast or some sort of weird sexualized deviant, because it's basically far off from the truth. And if you ever feel the need to, don't afraid to get fuzzy. Come up and have a hug with a fur, because that's what we do instead of handshakes. We hug, because that's how we greet people, and that's how we enjoy our world, and how we want the world to be. Other than that, I guess as a final little tidbit, I'll give credit where credit is due, but remember this, we are furries, and don't you dare forget it.
I'm tired of waking up in tears, 'cause I can't put to bed these phobias and fears. I'm new to this grief I can't explain, but I'm no stranger to the heartache and the pain. The fire I began is burning me alive, but I know better than to leave and let it die. I'm a silhouette, asking every now and then, is it over yet? Will I ever feel again? I'm a silhouette, chasing rainbows on my own, but the more I try to move on, the more I feel alone. So I watch the summer stars to lead me home. I watch the summer stars to lead me home.
Hi, my name is Taylor Simpson, or more commonly known as Team N291. I just want to take this time in order to thank you all so much for watching this, and also just for the fantastic year that we have all had. I'd also like to thank everyone who got involved in this project. Seriously, without all of you guys and your permissions and help and all that, I would not have been able to finish this within the deadline that I had, and I am happy that these events also came along so I was able to have some great examples, even if my camera did die for during the last scene, but whatever. It's all good now, it's all done, and I'm just really happy that we're able to do this. So, while I'm at it, I might as well go ahead and ask you guys that if you did enjoy, go ahead and click like. And if you enjoyed it so much, why not also help us out by sharing this video on your social media to help spread out the word. And of course, if you enjoy liking or talking to me for whatever reason, or if you want any other of the furry content, I guess, that came within this documentary, or other just randomness and gaming, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel, Team N291, for content like that. And other than that, I guess I'm basically done. So, until next time, this is Team N291, signing out.